You could make the case that there's no director with as flawless a filmography as that of Charles Laughton. An actor by trade, Laughton was prolific and much acclaimed. In fact, Daniel Day-Lewis once described him as probably the greatest film actor who came from that period of time, meaning the 1930s through the 1950s.
And that government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
I'll buy a drink.
The reason I say Laughton's catalogue as director is so perfect is because he only ever directed one film, 1955's The Night of the Hunter, which I think is a masterpiece. Roger Ebert called it one of the greatest of all American films. Upon its release, though, the film was a critical and commercial failure, so much so that Laughton's hopes of following it up with an adaptation of the Norman Mailer novel The Naked and the Dead were scuppered, as he was replaced as director by Raoul Walsh. Laughton never directed again. In the last few decades, however, The Night of the Hunter has experienced significant reappraisal and now enjoys a reputation as an exceptional one-off cinematic achievement. I want to talk about the film without spoiling it, because fundamentally this video is a recommendation, so I won't give away any plot details beyond just the premise. In essence, the film is a cat and mouse chase that sees two children, John and his younger sister Pearl, on the run from an evil preacher in West Virginia during the Great Depression. Although it resists neat categorization into any one genre, The Night of the Hunter is often thought of as one of the most significant filmic examples of the Southern Gothic, a type of literature of the same name that emerged in the US in the 19th century. The hallmarks of these stories tend to be alienation, crime, and the macabre, all of which are present in Laughton's film, which itself is based on the 1953 novel of the same name by Davis Grubb. But the film's influences and elements are many and varied. In terms of its visual language, probably the most obvious point of inspiration is the German expressionist cinema of the 1920s. As in those silent-era films, many scenes in The Night of the Hunter feature dramatic sets and stage-like constructions, whose conspicuous artificiality is completely the point. Similarly, the film's deep shadows and sharp silhouettes can be compared to images from expressionist classics such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari or Nosferatu. The German film critic Lotte Eisner used the word Helldunkel, literally meaning bright dark, to describe this high-contrast look. She defined the term as a sort of twilight of the German soul, expressing itself in shadowy, enigmatic interiors or in misty, insubstantial landscapes. Even the acting in The Night of the Hunter, I think, sometimes evokes the broader mannerisms of silent film performance. This is particularly true of the towering, ceaseless preacher Harry Powell, played brilliantly by Robert Mitchum. His character is the vessel for one of my favourite ever uses of music in film, which is a haunting rendition of the hymn Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, which he sings as he tracks down the children running away from him. In mood and structure, The Night of the Hunter is an odd kind of marriage between American noir and old fairy tale. It's got prison, deceit, and violence, all things which suggest classic noir, while some of its essential elements are straightforwardly Brothers Grimm-esque. Two siblings, one boy and one girl, a sort of Hansel and Gretel, are threatened by an archetypal big bad wolf in Mitchum's malevolent preacher. There are a few quasi-magical moments too, but perhaps none that sparkle with as much full-on fantastical energy as a scene in which the siblings float down a river under a starry night sky as Pearl sings. As the title implies, The Night of the Hunter is also not short of true dread and horror. There are moments which remain legitimately unsettling. Equally, at times, it's very gentle and moving, often courtesy of an excellent performance by Lillian Gish, one of the biggest stars of American silent film. If I said any more, I would be in danger of getting into spoiler territory, so I'll stop there. If it wasn't clear already, I really love this film, and if even one person adds it to their watch list having seen this video, I'd be delighted. Thanks so much for watching.